All right, guys, today we are diving into the nitty gritty of what we had to do, how much we had to pay to make $4,850 in sales last week.
Yeah, and the fun part is normally our sales are on eBay, but 2 of the 3 items were sold on Marketplace, so we didn't have fees and shipping costs, so that was a little bit nice. There are definitely other things we don't love about Marketplace, but we'll dive into that in just a minute. So
Absolutely.
So let's dive into what we made and, of course, the profits, because the profits are what is important in this business. If you're not making any money, you can't keep going. So
Yep, like Melissa said, it was only 3 items to make almost $5,000 in revenue, but how much of that revenue did we keep? Well, stay tuned and we'll let you guys know. Let's start off with the first item. What is number 1?
The first item that we sold was the wheelchair.
The wheelchair. So I bought this from one of my contacts. It was I can't remember the name of it. It was an electric wheelchair, though. I didn't put batteries or anything in it. I got it. I cleaned it up. It was a little bit dirty. Cleaned it up.
Elbow grease.
That was it. Elbow grease, cleaned it up. Sold it. We sold this one fairly quick, too. It was in less than a month listed, and I cross-posted it. So it was on eBay and in Marketplace. Sold it locally for $1,000. No fees, nothing on it other than just listing it, so we didn't have to pay eBay fees or shipping on it. We met the guy who bought it and delivered it. So $1,000. So that's right off the bat. We paid $100 for it, sold it for $1,900 in profit. I love it.
So we've been doing a couple more challenges recently, and so we did more listing on Facebook Marketplace, because normally you would sell something like that on eBay, and you do cross post it, but you've been cross posting more of our stuff so that we can get the local sale too, and it just gets it seen in front of more people. But eBay's usually where we would go to sell that stuff.
Absolutely.
The second one was the big money maker, and this was local too. So it was the lift.
Lift, and we had this cross posted, so we had it on eBay and we had it on the Marketplace. Marketplace is where it hit.
The Marketplace.
Marketplace is where it hit, and we sold it for $3,250.
Yeah.
Killer deal on this, and what it was a scissor lift. So it was a 1930, if I'm not mistaken, is the model. JLG or JGL, whatever it is, the abbreviation, the orange and tan ones. But we had this one. I've had this one for years, and I used it quite a bit to do a lot of stuff around my shop, around the house. So we used it, and then it was time to sell it. So we listed it. How much do we have into this one? So I paid $250 for it.
And then $310 in batteries and the motor. You had to fix
the motor. So when I first got this one, it had one wheel motor that was bad in it on the front end to drive it, and I had to pull that off and take it to the local, what is it called? He does starters, but he fixes motors. It's not a mechanic. He fixes starters, so he like rewinds motors and stuff like that. So I took it to him, roughly $150 on having him rebuild the motor for it, rebuilt it, put it back together, it worked perfect, and then we put a couple new batteries in it before we actually sold it. So killer deal on that.
We've had it for a little while.
We did.
I mean, it wasn't listed. You didn't have it listed to sell. You used the thing for a while.
And one thing I did do with this that normally scissor lifts usually take their 24 volt and they take 4 6-volt batteries. I put 2 12-volt batteries in it that I got from Walmart. So I put some. And it worked perfect around the shop, but if somebody was using it all day, every day, it might not have worked that well for a long time, because the batteries were deep cycle batteries, but they weren't meant to be used for like an all day. If you're using it for like 8 hours, it wouldn't last that long. So the buyer that bought it, I let him know, hey, if you want to upgrade it, you can add 2 more batteries to this sequence or this in series if you want to do that at 12 volt, or you can replace them and get new ones, but these were new batteries. So yeah, like I said, $310 into materials into this, $250 for the lift, and then we sold it for $3,250. So total profit on that one was
$2,690.
$2,600. Love it. Almost $2,700 on that one, and we got to use this for a long time.
we did
Christmas decorations.
We did videos in it.
Yeah, so they had a lot of fun with this one. So got a lot of use out of it and still made some good money on it. So killer deal on number 2. What is number 3?
The cooktop that we sold for $600. So
sweet. So this was a cooktop one of my friends gave me. He got it from somebody else who gave it to him, and it had a little tiny nick on one of the corners. So what I ended up doing was,
I remember, you have a video on that?
I do. I sanded the corner down a little bit just to make it where it wasn't rough, or sharp where it couldn't cut anybody. Took a picture of it when I sold it, but a little edge on the corner just to make it where it was usable. Nothing else was wrong with it. Beautiful glass cooktop. Sold it for $600. Paid nothing for this. It was given to me, and I didn't put anything into it other than a little bit of elbow grease onto it. And then we had to pay, so eBay fees. This one sold on eBay. $80, which is like $79 and some change, but I rounded up, and then $75 in shipping. So killer deal on this. Total profit on this was $445. So grand total on profit, which is the most important part of it, is we made $48.50 in sales, and we kept
we made $4,035.
So just over $4,000. So that's one thing we love about this business is we shoot for really 10xing our investment. On this one, we came a little shy on 10x.
No. Because our cost of inventory was only $350.
You're right. So we did 10x it, but we had to pay a little bit more out for repairs and shipping and that kind of stuff.
You had $600 invested.
That's it. But still, the overall investment, we well over 10x'd our overall investment. That is what our goal is when we're buying stuff, is really to 10x it. And the best part about this was, you know, we didn't have a lot of time invested into these 3 items and still generated over $4,000 in income this last week.
I wanted to add too on that cooktop, because some people have commented, like when we post stuff on social media, you know, people comment, sometimes they just have like legit questions and sometimes it's just they're funny. But a couple people had asked about, you sold that cooktop your friend gave you. Why did your friend give that to you? Like, now he's gonna see that you sold it and be mad that you sold it. And that's definitely not the case. It's not like a friend gave you a gift and you're selling it. I mean, I guess you could do that, but that's not it. That was like, he knows what we do. He knows we sell on eBay. He didn't want to sell it on eBay. He didn't want to ship it. So he's like, here, take it. And you wouldn't believe the amount of times that happens when people know that what you do. So it definitely helps. We talk about this a lot. Like, tell people what you do. Tell people you have an eBay side hustle. You would be surprised how much stuff people can give you. So
in this instance, somebody gave this to him so he could resell it, and he was like, listen, I got too much going on right now. I'm moving. I don't have time to mess with it. Do you want it? You can totally resell it. And we'll probably give him a gift card or do something nice for him to do that, because we love helping out our friends as well. And when people do give us stuff and we make money on it, we love to take care of them. That's one of the best things in this business. And then next time he has something he wants to get rid of or he doesn't have time for it, he'll remember us and give it to us. So just a really cool thing that you can do for people that are giving you free stuff. So, but yeah, that's pretty much last week. And this is just a week's worth of income. Last week, it was a good week for us to do that. And like I said, low hours invested into all these, very low hours into these to be able to make over $4,000 in revenue or in net, what we were able to keep. So we love it when we're able to do that.
Yeah. And it's definitely worth cross-posting on Marketplace and on eBay. Those are our 2 main focuses. We have cross-posted on Mercari, and it just never really did much for us. So we kind of just focus on these 2, and they have their pros and cons too. Like eBay, we did a challenge just last week about, you know, doing more on Marketplace and listing more on Marketplace. And it's great because Marketplace can be quick money and you don't have to ship it out, and those things are nice. But sometimes meeting up with people is a pain in the butt. So when you sell it, then you start to sell on eBay, you're like, oh, I can just ship it out and I don't have to mess with anybody. And most of the time the customers are they're a lot less flaky than on Marketplace who won't meet up with you. So they're definitely
pros and cons
to both. But we do both. And, you know, sometimes after trying to meet up with, if you're, you know, selling something and you got a whole bunch of people interested and you're doing all these messages and then people don't show up, it gets frustrating, and then you're like, I'm just gonna sell it on eBay.
Absolutely.
But there is both, and so just wanted to throw that out there, that there's pros and cons to both.
All right, guys, thanks for spending some time. If you want some more tips and tricks in this business, go check out this next video.